Okay, so the first question being asked was explaining how historical philosophical investigation of human experience reveals multiple views on the human condition. Therefore, an article I found that was super interesting was Human Nature Matters. It goes to explain how many philosophers don't seem to believe that there is such a thing as human nature. Not only that, but evolutionary and developmental biology is contrary to philosophers. Human nature can be best conceived of a cluster of homeostatic properties, traits that are always changing, and somewhat stable over evolutionary time. So then the question being asked is, what is human condition? And my definition I found for this was it describes the human existence, including experience and behavior. The thing I liked about this definition was the site itself gave 64 examples of what human condition can stand for. So physical, time, need and desire, pain, sickness, mental health, mental illness, health, rest, motivation, emotion, hate, love, conflict, competition, cooperation, failure, learning, knowledge, education, regret, logic, rational thought, belief, imagination, truth, deception, introspection, self deception, toll, work, tools, automation, play, creativity, culture, language, spiritual, religion, risk taking, risk avoidance, society, politics, organizations, health, wealth, poverty, social status, social bonds, freedom, control, customs, constraints, community, change, innovation and revolution, fear, status quo, tradition, nature, technology, population, mortality, and self-fulfillment. In a way, I think all 64 examples play a huge part in world problems and everything we've learned throughout every video and every great discussion article. So one of the great discussion articles I decided to link up with the human condition would be refugees and global migration. This was because I think one has to have a human condition of respecting someone's belief to come to a new country to seek asylum and be open enough to help somebody. And I know undocumented immigrants is a huge issue within countries, but I believe that if countries had opening arms and showed some type of human condition to see that these people were suffering, or if some people were coming to a different country to seek different economic issues, then just to be welcoming and opening to people and the way they want to live a new life. Okay, so the next question being asked was describing the international problems, achievements, aspirations of the U.S. and other nations and cultures. An international problem I wanted to mention is from another great discussion article, The Rise of Populism, due to over 2 million asylum seekers who were arriving illegally in Europe. This was an international issue because not only was Europe dealing with it, but its neighboring countries as well. As for achievements, 2018 was a huge year for women making strides all over the world. So to start off, Spain's new cabinet was mostly filled of ministers that were women. Women in Saudi Arabia can drive legally and get their driver's license. Women voters in Ireland struck down a draconian ban on abortion, and women in the United States broke records in the U.S. midterm elections. So the next question being asked was evaluating the effects of global interconnections on individuals, communities, businesses, and societies. For this reason, I kind of wanted to focus on social media because in the movie we watched about Mark Zuckerberg, it went into detail about how social media, such as Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, had a huge impact on the election. So I did a little research on my own on how social media really played a role on the election. So an article I found explained 10 ways social media has its effects by improving campaign engagement and reinvigorate American democracy. So the 10 ways it is explained is future political effectiveness is based on how social networks, because that is where trust filters operate. Organizing that campaign organizations no longer control electoral discussions, but ideas come from grassroots. Employ Facebook comments and status updates to drive civics conversations. Creates virtual opportunities for citizen feedback and deliberation. Embed social media commentary and news coverage. Use social media for direct discussion. Leverage civics education for political action and confidence building. Improve diversity of information, dissemination and exposures through social media. Creates new opportunities throughout engagements on mobile communications. And geolocation and behavioral advertising allow activists to reach people efficiently and effectively. In my opinion, I think social media had a huge impact on the previous election, specifically because I wasn't someone who would sit around watching the news all day. I was always on my phone, and seeing these fake news outlets really do change your opinion on an election. So I really do think that social media had a huge impact on who society wanted to vote for. On another note, a question being asked was how I have participated actively and productively as a member and leader in my community. So within the recent years, probably now for the past almost, I want to say, 3 years, I have volunteered. I'm not volunteering right now at the moment due to school and work, but I had volunteered at U of M's Children's Mott's Hospital, and I would play with children before they went in for their chemo treatment or while they were getting their chemo treatment, and before they went in for any x-rays, MRI, CT scans, and honestly, I loved it so much. I mainly chose to volunteer at the hospital because I knew I wanted to go into nursing, so it was a way to kind of just see what it was like to be in a hospital. And this really was an eye opener. It made me realize that I really do like children. I want to definitely focus on pediatrics, and it's something that I don't mind doing. If I could, I would volunteer and do it all the time because I honestly loved the opportunity I had was given. Okay, last but not least, question being asked was develop a value for responsible citizenship and civic engagement. And this question automatically reminded me of that video we had watched about how it questioned if those who had mental health should be able to live on their own or live in the homes. To really answer this question, I found an article that explains the difference between citizen engagement and participation. So as you can see in this diagram, it goes to explain a formal and more informal way of the way citizens engage and participate. So with citizen engagement, that includes more of the government. So it's a lot more of a formal nature. So cities provide citizens with some necessary tools to make decision making. Its main challenges are identifying what's more important for the citizens, and this kind of includes budgeting projects, city surveys, and all that. On the other hand, citizen participation is initiated by the citizens. This is more informal. It does not require city rules. Its main challenges are mobilizing enough citizens support and targeting a larger policy. And examples would be neighborhood networks, the right to challenge or petition citizens. With all this in mind, this is the end of my presentation. Overall, I really did enjoy this class. The great discussion articles were really interesting to look into, and to be honest, I didn't know all this was happening around the world. And not only that, I really did enjoy the videos we got to watch, especially the mental health one, and the Mark Zuckerberg one was really interesting as well. This class really did put into perspective all the world problems that are actually occurring, and it kind of made me want to get more involved. So yeah, I really did enjoy this class, and I'm glad to have taken it.